Hey, Sherry. Hi, Belinda. Are you really here or are you figments of my imagination? So, what color is this glue stick? This is for my sanity, please. Yay! I can get in through YouTube. I don't know what the problem was, but I'm here now, so maybe somebody will find me. I got I got some of yous in here, so this is crazy. Kim, you're not funny. How? Okay. What color is this glue stick case? Because even technically, the glue stick's purple too. I think you're trying to make me think I'm going nuts. But yes, I probably am going nuts. So I have my Finish It Friday. This is my project. I don't really like it, but I tried some things that I haven't done for a while, so you know, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So I was going to work in my journal, and I think that maybe, unless I decide to do a beading project, which I really want to, but sometimes I get pretty sloppy with that too. So who knows? I was going to start off with collage today. After going through my journals with y'all last week, I forgot how much I missed collage. And I found another journal that I hadn't shared with you guys. This was an old date book and it was plastic coated. The cover was plastic. So I covered it with strips of washi tape and scotch tape. And I think there's even, this one's masking tape. And glued 2 pages together. Probably pulled out some too. And then edged all of them with washi tapes and collaged in all of them. And I realized some of them weren't finished. They didn't have any doodles. They didn't have any. Oh, there's another Finish It Friday. I finished both of these. They didn't have any doodling, didn't have any shading. Some of them didn't even have outlining, which is, it's okay. You don't have to do it that way. That's just what I do. And so, anyway, um, I guess I was in a music. I finished these two also. Um, Play that funky music. He looks like he's dancing. He's playing a guitar. I don't know. I get some weird images. And then this one just looks like a teacher. And I don't know where my brain was, but music, music. So this one is I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. Like I said, sometimes I don't know where this stuff comes from. But I got to here. I started where things weren't finished, and then I got to here. And I'm still working on this page. So I did get some more things done. I want to show you how I go for the collage materials. Um, this magazine is uppercase, and these others, um, the way I do it is different for different magazines. Like this one, it's a crafting type magazine, and I can go through it and I can see things fine and pick what I want. And I'll be honest, I'm not a big scrap person. So I am only saving things I really like and really think I'll use. Like I really like this, but I'm not in 100% sure I will use it. And then I love things that are textured in backgrounds. Now I'm going to do this like if it was a Good Housekeeping or whatever. And I turn them upside down. Like I said, the magazines I'm using today really are okay because there's a lot of color and texture in them. But this lets you see things differently. Like I didn't even notice this, but this the first time. And now I see it's all polka dots. That's a cute little piece. I don't know that I'm going to put anything in here pull anything out of here right now. I got a good stash. But it lets you see things that are different. Like I really like this. So I'm going to pull that page out. And I have my scissors out when I'm pulling stuff out. And sometimes I'll save the words if there's something really cool that I like. I'm just rough cutting this because when I was cutting up the magazine the last time, it was just mesmerizing to look at the ground and see all my scrap stuff laying on the floor. I don't know why. I mean, I have to sweep it up, yeah, but let's see, this is great texture and color here. And sometimes I will get out my smaller cutting mat and say I just want this part, and I'll just go like this and then pull it out. And I have a little tray over here that I'm putting stuff in. And it really helps you to see different than what may be in the book. Like, I really like that too. And then, sometimes it's like, oh, maybe I better turn it over because I really need to read something in here. But for the most part, this is how I go through a magazine. And this week I harvested 12. And I didn't save too many. There's a lot in here I'm going to save. And I had also told you about my two favorite magazines. Yes, they're weird, and I will be a little bit careful in opening when I go through. This one is called Juxtapose. And as you can see, I've cut a lot out of this. And it's weird, and there is some nakedness. It's been beeped out there, but it's not usually beeped out. And a lot of it's photography, a lot of it's art. It's really different. It really is. And this one's been harvested in, so there may not be too much in here. But there's things that you can just pick pieces out of. And that's kind of how I harvest magazines. See, I told you, there's some weird stuff. So anyway, that's one of them. And the other one that I couldn't remember was this one, High Fructose. It's really weird. I love this image. Sometimes the cover of magazine things don't glue down well, so I haven't cut it off yet. But look at the covers. This one is also weird. But I totally see me using these. Hard to tell some of these things what they really are. So anyway, that's enough of that. These are some fun magazines that I use. And now I'll go back into the collage. Okay, I showed you the one that I am sort of working on right now. This is, yes, I know. I wasn't going to start anything. This is a brand new one. This one I started with what I harvested the other day. And all I've done is just glue stuff down in what pleases me. And all of these are painted papers that I've cleaned my brush or brayer out on. I put stuff down in a few places because I cut it out and I liked it and I found a spot for it. And I actually do work on several pages at a time. But we're going to start a new one so you can see. And then I'm going to pull out another journal that I'm working on to show you more of what I do. So we're going to find a focal of some sort for something. See, this tree would be a really good focal, but we're not going to sit here and cut that out. And sometimes I don't find the focals all the time. Sometimes I have to do the edges and then the focal finds me. And I really like these kitties, so we may have to do some kitties. But right now I'm just pulling out things that I like. And this was the title of a story, Once Upon a Time. Hi, Monica. Hi, Steph. Hi, Belinda. Hi, Kim. I know I've seen Sherry. Hello, anybody that is in here. I pick out things I like. I don't really have a plan. I can't say that. I mean, I never do have a plan. I just grab things that I really like and things that I think I want to use. And then half the time I don't use them. So, not at this time. So let's see what we can do with what I pulled out. I don't know why, but this appeals to me, and I love circles and domes and stuff like that. Oh, and Kim, by the way, I made you a moderator. I hope you don't mind. I did that when I was working on stuff, when I set this up. So that could be why I couldn't get in. I don't know. And I do save my scraps while I'm working on it because I might need some little thing in the on the page that goes with it. So I love this. Actually, I love it better than the girl in the dress. So I think that's where that's going to go. And I think this is going to be, and this book is one of those with the perforated pages. And the journal I'm working in that I doodle on, all those pages are starting to tear apart. So, needless to say, I'm putting collage material over that if I can help it. So, and I know everybody knows how to collage. And I know everybody does different things. And that's what makes the world go around. But I'm just showing you how I do it. And because this year, I'm going to finish some journals. And a lot of people ask me why I don't use a wet glue for this. Thank you. I don't have any problem with this glue stick. I really don't, but I also burnish it quite well. Thank you, Kim. I just got them done and I just got a haircut And I bought me a new pair of earrings, and my ears are closed. I didn't know they were. I thought they weren't, but so anyway, trying to take care of me a little bit. I tell you, this not having anything to do every day is catching up with me. I find myself being bored, and I don't like that feeling. Oh, Monica, that sounds scary. When I totaled my car, I was really trying to avoid an accident and turned and went into a driveway, missed the driveway a little bit. Well, I didn't miss it, but part of my wheels went on over the culvert. And so I bounced a little. And when I came down, that's when I totaled it. The airbags was probably the biggest culprit for totaling it, but that's okay. I like this, but I don't know if it's going to go in there. I am going to put the kitty cats in here. And when I cut, I have my curved scissors, I have my little scissors, and I have my big scissors. And I use them all for different things. And it's kind of funny because I think I've said this before, was reading or listening to someone about how to minimize and how to, get clutter out of your life. And one of the things that it said was scissors. If you got more than one pair of scissors, you don't ever need more than one pair of scissors. And I was like, I have scissors that have certain things they do. I have some that I can pick things up and cut in fabric and they don't move. I mean, it's just crazy. But every scissor has its own use as far as I'm concerned. And sometimes I got to put scissors in different projects, and then they, once in a while I have to go on a scissor roundup. Like, okay, I have only one pair of small scissors here. This isn't going to work. And I'll have to go pull them out of project bags and gather up all my scissors again so I know what I got. And the funny thing is, I have a pair of these and a pair of my curved fabric ones set aside. I have brand new ones. And I have these. So when these die, which I'm sure they will someday, I will have them. And if not, my children will have some antiques to make some money on. Brand spanking new, still in the package. My kids don't know this, but on Easter this year, one of the first things they all have to do, kids included, is pick out the journal they want. Because I want them to have journals. Okay, this one's not going, but this one's good. But I want it more here. So that means I need to have more of a surface for, oh darn, here's one of those dilemmas. I cut this out because of this. But look at this. So I'm going to have to I have to have this. This would be perfect for the base here. Maybe, maybe not. We'll just wait a few minutes and see. This was tore out, which is why it is curvy, but I like that. I just didn't want the torn edges. And I don't want it this wide. Oh, that's funny. Another thing I do is I'll take my fingernail and kind of draw a line when I want to cut something out so that it and of course, oh, there we go. Now I can see it. It doesn't show up perfect, but so now I can make it kind of butt up to that, and I'm okay with that. And I don't have to do the borders. I don't know. It's just the way I've done it and I like it. So, well, let's just cut it out and see what we like. The reason I do that with my nails is because I wasn't smart enough to think ahead of time. As you can see, I just put the collage down and don't really think about what's going with it or what's not going with it. I think I like that. I like that. So we'll just... Bye, yellow. I'll see you in another project someday. Probably the next page is going to have the perfect yellow. You know, that's just kind of the way it goes. Hi, Joni. I'm glad you found us. And the funny thing is, this color isn't even on there, but I still like it. Yeah, we can put the cat on there. Oh my goodness. My home is my castle. And then I put the cat. It's funny how that works. I did not see those words until just now. I need something for up here. Gonna take the other side of this lady. I'm gonna save her. She's not what I want for here, but she might be something for down the road. And let's trim that. You can see all this precise measuring I'm doing, right? So I'm going to call this collage done as far as how I want it to look with the magazine images. And I have to step away for just a minute. I will be right back. I'm back. Sorry about that. I went potty before I started, but I think the stress of trying to get my YouTube to do what it was supposed to kind of brought on more. So, TMI, I'm sorry. All right, what do I do next? We're just going to start in. Got to find the right pins. See, I collage anything. This is just layered all kinds of stuff. And I really like to do this type of collage too, where it's just pieces put together. But I don't know, in my journals, this is what I like. So I take, if I think that I'm not going to add any water to a project, I will use any marker. But if there's a chance I'm going to use a water, I'm going to use, oh, I slip. But we have a way of fixing those. And I don't worry about it being perfect. And then when it gets messed up, then you just go in and you pick a different pen because that one's not writing on the magazine image. And you color that in. We'll put white dots on it later. And because I have that one, let's make another one on purpose. And then it looks like it was supposed to be that way. So that's how we outlined that circle. And I just go around all the pieces. Sometimes we're going to go with this paint pen now because I'm going to have to draw on some magazine parts. I do always like to outline everything. I don't know why. When I was in a show, I needed an artist statement, and that was life's too short to stay in between the lines. And my husband said, "Oh no, honey, you don't have to worry about that. You draw your own lines." And maybe that's why I do this. I don't know. but I like it. And it feels finished to me that way. But I do make mistakes when I get going on it because I don't go super slow. And then the mistakes is part of the art in it. Like right there, I got off of the outline and onto the cat. And it's okay. So I've outlined it and I'm happy with that. And it just depends upon my mood on what I want to do next. I'll take a pencil, a pastel pencil. I even do Stabilos, and I missed my outline there. But I don't always want the crazy run of that. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for finding me. Oh, and by the way, Kim, I really miss you. It's like nobody's picking on me, and I'm in this little room all by myself. Sometimes I outline when it's over magazine on, pieces on top of another magazine piece, but it doesn't always shade. I just do it because I can. So I think I've outlined everything. I don't know if I did that or not. I can't tell. And then I'll take my blending stump, which looks really terrible because it's so well used. And just shadow everything. And that lets things pop up off the page a little bit. And sometimes if you've missed something, when you go back into one of these other places and do that, you can come back and there's just enough left on these things to help you. And that's not wanting to take any shading, but we're going to try it again. Okay, so that's my basic page. Now comes the fun part. And you've all watched me doodle, so I don't know if this will be interesting to you or not, but we're going to do it anyway. And I tend to like bright colors. We all know that. I'm not selling these. These are in my art journal, so therefore I'm not worried completely about using someone else's art, but I'm worried just enough that I need to turn it into mine now. I know you're not, but you will be. And then I can pick on you again. So because this is kind of this color, let's put it in a couple places. And all I'm doing is just changing things just enough to kind of get that color in there and make this mine in the style that and it just kind of ties it all together. And I just make marks. Just lots and lots and lots of marks. Or maybe not lots of marks, just maybe little bits of marks. Just some doodling to make it all blend together. And see, I could easily do this, and I do this a lot. I'm going to, you're not wanting to work on there. I'm going to turn this flower into a whole flower. It's not quite the same, but it's close. And I can take paint pens and go in there and color it. I don't think this is the right color of blue, so we're going to see what we can find in the colored pencils. No, not too bad of a crafted lunch, because I can't. Sign just fell down. And let's see if we can find. That's close. Because I'm coloring over other colors, it's not going to be as accurate as I'd hoped. So let's try. Because I'm going over some yellow and green, so it really looks more green. But that's okay. It's not supposed to be perfect, which is one of the cute quotes I cut out of magazine yesterday, was something about perfection. Actually, I think it's in this book that I put it, but I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. And I need a purple. Thanks, Kim. And this is just not showing up. But it's okay, because I still like it. Yeah, the red worked. So I do that quite often. You know, when I do videos, I work myself into this little spot here, but also do it on the floor because I set things around me. So, thanks, Belinda. So I'm just going to continue doing things. I need this color because it's here and a little bit here and here, but it just needs to be somewhere in this yellow so that it makes everything. And that's how, I mean, I know a lot of people use color wheels and a lot of people, follow the color wheel, or I know there's some cards out that I don't have this. It just happens for me. I don't know how to explain it. I have kind of a pattern. Can I explain that or tell you what it is? Not really. I just know what my eye has to see. It has to see the colors and it has to be cohesive somewhere. But to others, they may look at my art and not see anything like that. So, and again, I do a lot of lines. This doesn't change it immensely or make it mine exactly, but it feels right. And so I need some of this. It's goldy, orangey in other places. So we're just going to use the yellow because that's what I have handy. And we're going to add some more yellow up here in some of these white spots. And just putting some, no rhyme or reason. And if I don't like it when I'm using a paint pen, you can go like this and it just changes the whole thing. It just blends in. And so we need something over here. So we're just going to do a circle. And then we're going to take the purple. And we're not worrying how good it is because it's intended to be messy. This coral ought to look pretty good with all this. When I was working on the other pages in this book the other day, I do this with my paint markers, and I'll tap it off on here to get it going. And oh my gosh, I had paint everywhere. I do like this coral in here. I don't know why it's not really in here other than it blends well. So let's put some of this up here. Let's change that lime green to coral. And I may color over everything and never have the same stuff in here. But it's okay. It's what makes it fun. And sometimes as I do one thing, I see exactly what I need for the other thing. And as you can see, it just takes a few markers. Colored pencils work just as good. I have the paint markers, and when I got them out to work with them the other day, I was like, man, I need to use these things because they were, yeah. I threw a few away. Okay, we'll go with some darker blue here, and I'm going to just put some stripes. And I think needs to be a blue stripe here. And these aren't all the same colors. It's in the images I found, but they work. When I was going through this journal and working on the pages, I did several pages, and I had a couple where I had to do some gluing down of things. And I didn't realize how long I'd been sitting here, and it took all my strength to get up out of this chair. So I guess I know what my limit is, however long I was in here this last time. So let's put some dark blue dots up here. And let's put a dark blue circle around here. See, I just brought the orange, not the same orange, but it works. And one thing when you're using paint pencils or paint pens, you do have to stop and pay attention that you don't smear something. So kind of think about that. I don't, but you should. So let's just adding some more texture. That's all it is. And we need a little more purple. And I'm thinking we need it. I don't really love that, so I'm going to smear it out. And so I've got purple. It's sloppy, but there's also scribbles and stuff elsewhere. So it's okay. And we're going to put a little pink with it and kind of smear it out. And it looks like it's supposed to be that way. So now I'm going to go. I could do more. I could do a lot more. Like I could change all of those, but then kind of like defeating the purpose of having the pattern. So I'm going to take this black now and I'm going to just add some more doodles on top. And I'm going to outline this a little better since I smudged those colors. And then I'm going to add some dots. And I like to, when I do the tiny dots that are just random, I like to do them really heavy and then pop them out so it looks like they're kind of falling, and that's where they landed. Funny how it's all tying together and it looks okay. And then we can just add, say we just want to add some more darkness here. And it just, I don't know, it just ties it all together. I usually do, when it's something like this, I usually do more changing of the colors and adding my own things. But she's just so stinking cute that she's going to stay this way. Stay this way. And I did smear her buttons, so we're going to outline them again in black. And then we're going to come up here and this changes the look of what doodles you've done or marks you've made with your paint markers. And I'm going to come over here to the stripes I changed and add a little pattern to them. And remember, when you're doodling on something, make sure some of your dots or some of the pattern goes off the page so it looks like it's supposed to be that way. I had forgotten I cut that crooked and outlined it straight. Isn't that crazy? So now we have some big black chunks that we've got on here, which I like because we all know how much I love black and white in doodles. Not just in doodles, the beading I'm doing, I've been putting black and white in. That's all of my white pens are in the process of dyeing. And to me, when I do this, white is just as important as putting the black dots and stuff on. Okay, now we're going to come in here where there was the black thicker spots and put dots on the black. To me, that just makes everything pop out. In fact, I think I need to have, let's just do this. I have to let that dry a little bit or it will never show. We didn't do anything to this little spot. So what do we think it needs? Let's put, no, let's not. Yeah, let's put some yellow. We don't have much yellow in here. Just right here, and it's not so good. So this little spot of white on the watercolor, we're going to make it yellow just so it shows up good in yellow. And just add some yellow. Just splotches of colors. A lot of times before I start doing, little circles and squares and things like that, I'll just scribble and then smear, scribble and then smear. And it looks really cool. Or, well, maybe it doesn't to everybody, but it does to me. But I don't want to do that after I've already put color down and designs down, because then those might bleed too. All right, so let's put the white dots right here. I try really hard not to make them go in a straight line, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the center. I don't know why. I just try that way. I don't understand what I do sometimes. So now we have all of this. If we had a quote, this is where I would write it. And I do like to put quotes or words on each page. But my words are right here. My house is my castle. I know you don't really see it. You have to really look at the page. So I'm just going to do some doodling. And because this is textured and this is a paint pen, it's splattering. And that's okay. It just lets people see it and know it's not anything produced by AI. I want that little teardrop to be a little bit bigger. When I go on my girls' retreat, I haven't decided exactly what project I want to take for them to make. I was thinking a little book, and I was thinking about a bracelet, but I don't know, because most of these women I don't know well. So what does anybody have plans for the weekend? I would love to say I was going to have a garage sale because Saturdays didn't work out so well, but I don't think it's still going to be warm enough unless we started at noon, and by then people are done with garage sales. So I think we need one more down here. And yes, some of them are thick, some of them are thin. I did that on purpose. Yes, it is. I agree with you. AI text is most of the time stupid. You know, 100 paintings to me was, I don't paint, but this is paint. And so, in my opinion, it would be fine. I do my watercolor paint and draw on it. So I guess that's painting. So let me double check and make sure this is all dry. It is. I like the black and white with the polka dots, especially because it gives you some whimsy to the to the item and or to the page, and um you know the whole thing is art to make you smile. Look at it. I think some people probably look at mine and go, "Oh my God, what was she on when she did this?" And I don't know where that comes from. I, it's just something I do, I suppose. I didn't do art in school, so I don't know. And then my mom is a really good artist, but she does, you know, landscapes and art. Okay, I think that's done. I feel like, though, something's missing over here. And I think it needs black and white over here because we have it scattered, but there's nothing. So we're just going to add it in wherever I think it needs to be. And it doesn't have to be anything perfect. I'm just putting some black lines in. When you're coloring on the magazines with the paint pens, they don't always want to cover well. They want to get streaky, so sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get it on there correctly. Well, this one's dry, so I can put some white dots on it. But the rest of this is not dry. And I think what's really bothering me is that I didn't do much to the kitty. I think she looks just placed in there. But well, I'm glad to see you're still working on something, Kim. Still didn't dry it all the way. The flowers, these aren't. Let's just kind of add some whimsy to it. Yeah, that helps a lot. Let's make her pearls white instead of blue. Making the dots just a little bit smaller so they kind of have a blue cast around the edges. Let's put a little highlight on the orange buttons. That helped. That helped a little bit. So when these are dry, this one is, I can do some dots on it. And the other one is still not dry. So that is probably the first time in a long time that in 1 hour I started and finished a page. Now, sometimes I still think there's something missing, and a lot of times this is what it is. Just that little bit of outline on the edge of the page. Can you tell? I don't know what that does. Again, it may come from me drawing my own lines in this world. Hi, Carol. Okay, that's still not dry, but I think I can get around it. There we go. So there is a page. I like it. Yeah, I still think it needs, I need to do the black line over here, but I can't use this marker because it's too wide. And I had one, and for the life of me, I can't find where I put it. It should be right here in this room with my pens and markers, but it's not. And it was. So I think my marker thief must have came in. Oh, here's one. And this is another place where I do make some boo-boos because of the rings, but I can always come in and make those little slip-ups thick and put some dots on them. So now it's framed. So I am going to pull out something different. I was going to work in this, but I'm not feeling it. So I wanted to share with you. I think I mentioned this when we did the flip through last week. I have this whole page is done. I mean, this whole book has something on the pages. There may be a couple in here that's not. I'm going to come out here and see if I can get the whole book in place. Okay. So this was my attempt at some marbling paper. And then, of course, we have my Billy the Kid. I don't know. I am totally enamored with Billy the Kid, and I don't know why. And Kim was telling us one time about listening to audiobooks. And I actually found some Billy the Kid audiobooks. So I was really, really excited. So when I was messing with the magazines the other day, this was all there was this on a white page. And I don't know if you can read it exactly, but it's got a little bird and it says, "We're all in this." And then this big red thing is the word "together." Now, I may outline that, and so it's easier to read, but I can see it just fine in person. I thought, this is perfect. I love this. Where am I? But then it was, where was I going to put it? Because I couldn't put it on a page because they're all got stuff on them. So it became on the cover, and I might doodle on it or do something with it. But I love this, and I love my Billy. So anyway, this book has a few pages that are done. This is just painting papers, bits and pieces, doodles. It could have a focal on there, maybe, maybe not. This one I put your circle. Your circle should want you to win. Your circle should clap the loudest when you have good news. If they don't, get a new circle. And then these 2 pages are done. They can have some more stuff, some more doodling. I've colored on almost every piece. Um, it needs some white in there. It's really, to me, it's dark, and so is this one. It needs some white. Um, could even have quotes put on them, because this could, even though this is all done and doodled on and stuff, I could put a quote over that. It's okay. So this one, these were all images that came out of the juxtapose and the high fructose. So some of them are going to be strange. I love these paintbrushes, and I have to admit that I bought a friend of mine's stuff from her journaling stuff. She decided it was not what she wanted to do, and there was like, oh, I don't know. The price I paid was $100, and the Posca pens that came with it was that, as far as what they were worth. But there was 2 of those like 12 by 12 plastic flat boxes full of stuff, images she's already torn out, many that she cut out. So that's what I mean, I got to put these all down. That's why the whole book's covered in images, because she had already cut them out. So I just took some things that were wild that kind of went with paint, did some splattering, and put the paintbrushes down and made them look like they had the same colors of paint on them. I I don't know, just did it, and I like it. It doesn't have any words, doesn't have any meaning, but I like it. Yeah, Sherry, I understand that. I'm working at getting myself back into whatever art I want to do. Right now, it's my art journals, but that encompasses a lot. That could be the watercolor, that could be the doodling, it could be the collage, and beading. I'm doing beading like I've never done before. Let me show you, because it's actually right here and I can grab it. This is what I taught myself. I don't know if it's an actual stitch or if I made it up, because I couldn't find what I wanted. I wanted to make a tube. I feel like that's not the clearest, but I wanted to make a tube. I wanted a cube of beads to make a bracelet. And I just played around until I got a stitch that worked. And you would think, starting back at this kind of stuff at my age, when my eyes were the worst they've ever been, that would be stupid. But this is just thrilling, and I'm just as thrilled with the gathering and sorting of the beads. And when I worked at the bead store and did projects, I'd get my bead board out and I'd work on it, and then things would be mixed up and they'd be scooped up and put in a container. And I keep doing that. I think that it is tubular square stitch, but I'm not sure. It's not peyote, it's not brick. I just figured out how to take something I was doing and making the cube. So I haven't, like I said, I have checked videos. I've got all kinds of beading videos saved for different stitches that I want to do again. I've done a lot of different ones through the years, but I had in mind exactly what that is. That that's just the way it is. And so I'd love to know for sure what it is. Maybe I'll make a video on it, and maybe somebody that knows more than I do, or knows more than I remember. But for now it works. So anyway, this whole book was again kind of the brayer off and stencil off wasted paint kind of book. And so this one is already out shaded. It's not outlined, but it's shaded. So this one won't have a lot more. It'll just have some little details I want to do in here, and maybe doodle, like right here we see things that my grandchildren wouldn't want to see. I wouldn't want my grandchildren to see. And so maybe I'll doodle her a shirt, things like that. These could still have extra pieces in them and around the edges. Probably not the whole edges, but that's okay. I don't have to do around the edges. Some of these images are strictly as you see them, but this was the girl. The bird is extra, and this little thing here is extra. I'm not really sure what it is or what you want to call it, but yeah. This one, the head was one thing, this was one thing, and this was one thing. So this one I have done a little bit more on, and it might be done. I see some things that I would prefer to do in here that's not done, but it's a start. And I guess I don't get this quite on screen as well as I'd like. And then we have this one. This vehicle was an image. I don't know if it was the whole vehicle. This was something that I just kept cutting apart the bricks. And then this was one image. I always have to feel them to see because I don't remember. This one, this was the astronaut and his shadow. And then I love this shoe. And yes, I cut out all of the colors in between all those leaves. And I don't know. I just put things together and what felt right. And it is very weird, but I like it. And this one, I kind of went with the color. This fish is swimming upside down, maybe. Maybe not. He just kind of looks like it. But I put all the fish. It's a birthday party for the fish. See, there's the banner and there's their cake. And then this one was just different animals. And I don't know. I said, I know they're weird, but I really enjoyed putting them together. And this one, this technique I fell in love with, and I have done other things like this. I did a pair of lips that was filled with all little cutout images. It's really cool. It doesn't really go together, but maybe what I do to it will. And so, like I said, these are just weird. This one I already started drawing leaves coming out of these shoes and mummy legs. This one was one image and I liked. This was several. This was one head, and I used some patterned paper to make her shirt body. This is her hair, is another paper. This one is one image. I don't very often do that, but these were cut out. These were hollering to be something. This is a bunch of different houses with a tree, and these are the old people who've lived in these houses when they were new. That's my story. And then just some green stuff I cut out. This is another green border, probably was part of this. More houses stacked on top of each other. I don't really care for this one, but that doesn't mean I can't make it look like mine. I mean, this one's got color potential running out its ears. This one, I cut this out of some sticky back foil. I think it was a tape, but I don't know. And then she's one image. This is two images. This kind of seashell thing on her hair. This is a head, then this pretty design, just something to make a landscapey kind of thing. And then this cute little weird looking caterpillar. And so, like I said, these were all cut out. I love this little hand coming up, and then some of these even I look at and I'm like, what was I thinking? But I still like them. So this is one background. The girl in the martini glass was one, and then this was one. This came out of New Mexico. That's kind of our, I think it's called a Zia. These were just pieced together, little bits and pieces to make the coffee cups were that way, so I made the people that way. This is one of my split pages because I couldn't find anything I liked with this turtle, and he had to be in here. He's just so intelligent looking. Thank you. I can't really wait. I kind of forgotten about it. So as soon as I finish the journal that I'm working on, and I think there's like 10 pages, this one's next. I have others that are closer to done than this one is, and this is an old picture, and these were actual men working on a high bar in building, and I don't know, I just stuck them out in the middle of nowhere. And then this was the sky that was behind it, and I cut out so it looked cloudy. No, actually, it wasn't behind it. It's when I cut out separately. And because I cut the page, I had to find some little stuff to kind of do these. This one's kind of weird, but I'm thinking I can still make it fun. She had cut out a lot of shoes, and I love the shoes. But this is one piece, this is one piece, this is one piece, this is one piece, and this is one piece. Now, this one has room for a lot of other stuff around the edges. And so does this one. This one is, the hat is one piece, and the face and the hand is one. This was a really fancy drink, and it was all glass sculpture type of thing. And so I thought that went with it. It just makes it look like it explodes. And yes, it's on a very busy page, but I still like it. So it just kind of shows that you can try whatever you want. And, you can make it work. These were just flowers, and some of them are multiples, and some of them are just hearts stuck on. I mean, it's just pieced in there. And some of them I just, this head, this body, this, and this, they're all separate pieces. So some of these are put together weird, and it is me. So, hey, I'm the one to put them together weird. And, I have no reason except for that when I was playing, that's what seemed to look right. I love this one too. The men talking in this man, and then I put the elephant head on him. And then the glasses were for something else. So yeah, I really like that one. This is a cat getting into things and all kinds of little bits and pieces. This one was an image I did not like it as it was. Actually, the image of what he had on his stick was like a selfie stick, but it had a gun on it. I absolutely didn't like that, but I liked him. And then so I just found some funky thing to put on there. This is one image because it's monsters, so that makes it absolutely perfect. This one is just one image. This one is one image, or two images, but all the rope was individually, went in with the X-Acto knife. And then this one says, do not touch. This one says, nosy. I just thought they were cute. I love this little creature, and he's getting ready to eat some happy mushrooms and live his psychedelic life. This one is another one where I don't even know if you can tell, all of this has been cut out. It's definitely going to have some highlighting or changing the colors inside so that you can see all that work I did on cutting it out. This is the parrot, and his color matched the boots, so he became having the boots. This is, I liked the woman, I liked her on this page, but she had something that needed covered up, so she's holding a fish. This one is, the man is one image, the lips is another, and this part is another. So the heart is part of that. This is one image. And then this is a head that was cool, and that. There's one missing in here, but I don't know if they stuck together. Or maybe I put it in a different book. But I thought there was one with all. Oh, well, we did miss some. We missed this one. And it's funny that the background goes so well with the pictures on some of them that you have to look and pay attention to see if it's really there. And there is one blank page. But there was one that had all kinds of shoes on it. So it must have stuck. Or maybe I didn't do it. Maybe I just thought I did it. You know, that happens once in a while. Oh, we missed this one too. This was out of a quilting magazine. This quilt. And the rhinoceros part of it. And I decided the kangaroo and the rat was a butterfly. This one I did put some edging on. Okay, so since I know I've missed a few, I'm going to continue to look to see if those shoes are in there, because it was cool. I see single shoes, but I thought I had done a whole page of shoes. If I didn't, I dreamt it. Or I did it in a different book. And I must have done it in a different book because it's not here. Nope. Thank you. These are some fun images, and weird. I know they're weird, but I like that. Would I hang this in my house? Probably not. But do I want to make the art this way? Yes, I do. So, does it make me a closet weirdo? I do need to come up with some new art for my bathroom. I'm a little bit disappointed and a little bit nervous because I bought a new shower curtain. I just absolutely loved it. And I took all the art off the wall in the bathroom because I want to match the shower curtain. And the shower curtain's been delayed. When that happens on Amazon, sometimes you don't get it. So I hope it still shows up, because otherwise I have nothing in my bathroom on the walls. And then I would have to find a new shower curtain and start all over. So this is the next book I really, really want to work in, because I really like it. But I'm enjoying working in all of my books right now. And I used to be, and I don't know how anybody else feels like this, I used to feel like I had to start in one and finish in one. But I don't feel that way anymore. It's like it doesn't matter. They're mine. And if I want to do a lot, I can. And if I want to do a little, I can. Sometimes what I do, there's enough wet to it that I have to work in more than one book, or I only can work for a short time and then I have to go find something else to do. And heaven knows we don't want to do dishes or sweep or any of that stuff. So anyway, well, I suppose I can start another page or add to something in here. But what I intended to show for today, I have accomplished. Does anybody have any questions for anything I did? Anybody want to come over and play? I have more table room and more space now to do play dates. I know. It's too far away. But I don't know. I see so much potential in all of these things. Hi, Valerie. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done YouTubes by myself, and I'm forcing myself literally to do them because I figure I was doing them with Kim, and I know Kim's taking a break, so I'm going to continue doing them because I need something that is just for me. And we all do. None of us do the art that we're supposed to do because it's just for us. Or, well, maybe we do, but I hope you know what I'm trying to say. We all need something to do that is for us. And I kind of had forgotten how much I needed that or how important that was to me. I was going to use this as a just as the texture. That's why I didn't cut the leaf and the heart out separately, because I thought, well, sometimes when I cut them out, I don't cut them out exactly the way they're going to be used because I don't know how they're going to be used. I don't know why I save anything or what the reason is that it's going to be. I don't know. I don't know till I get there. But I was looking real quickly through my image tray over there. Actually, I have two. I have the little one. This has littler pieces, and then I have the big one with full pages because I do sometimes tear out pages just because of several things on there. And I think that this pear will look just fine on this page. And I know that we went through some things. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Sherry. I have no formal training. I just do what I like. But I started to say for this one, okay, we'll just go with this. I showed you that a lot of my pages have quotes on them. Monica, I'll answer that in a question in a minute, and if I don't, remind me. I tend to lose my train of thought sometimes. What I'll do is I'll go onto Google and I will go, this is a pair. So I will go, I'll type in quotes with the word pair. And then I'll see pears are my favorite fruit. Reminds me of childhood. No. pair quotes. Yeah, I don't like that. So we're going to go back to, we're going to do pairs spelt as a pair of something. And so that's how I find my quotes. I'd love to say I was smart enough to make them up, but yeah. How do I store my images? A box for the small pieces and a box for the big pieces. I do dig through them every time I want to do them, but I don't have an excessive amount of them. This is my box for full pages. And as you can tell, it's not full because my journal's laying on top of it. It's just one of those iris boxes, 12 by 12 or whatever. And then now I do have one of the great big ones full of painty papers. And I do have a wicker basket full of little bits. But they're sorted by the project they could be used for. Like my little bitty torn bits of paper, and I don't save very many of those. I could take all my scraps of paper and images, and they would fit in a carry-on suitcase. Because if I'd let it get, otherwise, I like this, and then I go to dig, and I don't like this. Oh, I don't like this. So I only really, really like it before I keep it. And in my wicker basket is my little bits when I'm in the mood to sew. And I like to just stack 3 or 4 things together and sew them together and just keep going. And then I get this chain of clustery things. And then I take those things and then I put them in other things. So they kind of go that way. Painty papers can go in anything. I do pull painty papers out to do edges and borders. I don't have it now because I just recently went through these magazines. But yeah, I kind of sort them by projects. I have a couple of tins that hold some different things for different projects. And kind of my painty papers have their own life. And then images have their own space because they don't always work together. They don't play well in the sandbox at the same time some days. But, it's okay. It works for me. I mean, I would love to have them sorted by color, but I don't work by color. And I have tried that. And I can see it from here, so I'm just going to grab something. This kind of explains some parts of my brain. So I have this basket, and I'm going to bring this up a little bit so you can. Let's just put this away so we don't mess it up. So this one, I took pieces of paper and folded them in half and kind of sort of made files for these. But as you can tell, I've stuck a lot of extra things in there. And these are mostly painty papers. And these are just cardstock. And as you can tell, I've needed this color for something, so I punched things out. So these are painty papers, and they're in the medium size. These can go for several different things. They can go in my collages. They can go in my stacked things that I stitch together. They can go, I might take this one and do a little collage on it and then do a focal and stitch on it. I've done a lot of those. So they're divided by that. And these are the little bit biggers. Or maybe these are the smallers. But they're all they're all painty papers. This one here has some bigger pieces in it. This one has strips in it. And they have been mixed up. These are some of my journaling card things that I made. This one had that above it, had the whole image there, but I cut it off because I wanted that. So I kept the card. But these are just stamped images I stamped, drew a frame, so I made journaling cards out of them. This is a monster face. This was a monster face, and then I drew the rest of them to make journaling. But they're all done, most of them are done with stamps, and then I add to them. So that's what that one was. There's no rhyme or reason to these, and I've never used them. Yeah, and then these are big pieces, and in my opinion, these are bases. I will use these as the base to do the tiny little collages that I stitch on. And then these are not in a folder. These are big bases. And then I do have some store-bought and stuff because I love art by Marlene, and I have some quotes by Tim Holtz, and other bigger pieces are back here. This is empty. I didn't even know this was there. Oh, I see what this is. And this is the folder I made out of, I think, 2 file folders, maybe several file folders. And these have little bits and pieces of, I made this a long time ago. I don't really use what's in here much. And then sometimes I use it and I fill it back up. But these are, these were from a sticker club I had belonged to, and I don't so much use the stickers anymore. I've used some and given some away. So these are some of the things that I might pull off and use. They're kind of my doodles. And some of them are just scrap paper. But they're doodles. And this is really, to me, this is an important thing right here. So we'll pull these few out that I see that are in color. And I'll explain to you what they are. But they're just flowers and doodles. And these are all done on, some of them are done on just paper, but all of these that have the brown, they're on the brown packing tape that you stick to, wet to stick. But what I want to show you with these, that's a nice little piece of collage fodder. And all they are is the images on printed papers. And I doodled onto the printables because I wasn't going to use them for what they were supposed to be. So instead, I just, like, this was a leaf, so I doodled around it, cut it out. But this one, this was a whole sheet. If you look real carefully, you can tell that's an iris. But I just turned it into a bud, and it's got the colors and everything right on it. So that's what I use this for now. I kind of forgot about these too. And again, there's more. There's some that haven't been cut. There's some stickers still. So it's just kind of a crazy little mess, but I know what's here. And see, I even needed a piece of this color for something. So my file folders aren't being really well used. And then I've showed this before, I believe. These are business cards that I just did some of my collages onto, or painty papers, or I've done a few digital papers of my own, and I just print them on business cards things and then tear them apart. And I got these little bits to stick in wherever. And even sometimes they overprinted wrong, so I saved these. And I mean, the rest of it's blank, but I can still use those little pieces. So that's kind of fun. And these are all what I would call my blanks to do something else with. I don't know what. These are my watercolor birdies. And so there's a lot of different things in here. Oh, a little monster. Maybe there's more monsters in here. There's some greeting cards that's never been used. It's hard to say, but this is my little book of greeting cards. This was a name card where you go to a fancy dinner, and then it's envelopes and greeting cards. And there's a little printable there. There's the flaps of some envelopes. And I just put them together. And I have a long reach stapler, stapled them, and so now I have the start of a book. Yeah, monsters always hide. Oh, that's a good idea, making them on magazine pages. I don't know. I'd never really done that. So I think it was just kind of happened. It started off, I was doing them on the tape. The brown packing tape stuff. And anyway, that's how I store them. So it is kind of by project. Now, yes, some of the projects overlap, and that's okay because I still keep them separated like this. I guess now that I'm over here putting this back, I see that the wicker basket was, that's my vintage paper bits. I use them together many times, but they're not always used together. And so that's why I keep them separate. This little tin right here is some of my stitched pieces, or I've just stitched pieces together. There's a mixture of things in here. But little cards I've stitched together. I think this was supposed to be a book, but I didn't finish it. Go figure that one. But it's just little bits that have been stitched together. And then more of my doodles. So this is just little bits, but finished little bits. Or the cards to do more of that book. I don't know, Kim, were you working on this with me, or do you remember me doing this? I think it was supposed to be a book. Now I'm confused. I mean, what else is new? Yeah, some have color on them. They have tabs, so they weren't going to like go in a box. Oh yeah, here we go. So I stitched them together. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is all just little bits. And some of these have been inked, and I don't know, just some backgrounds on them. But these are done, both sides. And this one, and then these are all blank. But then if you keep digging, I found this. Sorry, I was off the screen. This is what I did. I just put the fabric in. I do believe there's another set in here now that I'm seeing. Oh, there's more. Oh, guess what I'm gonna do today? I forgot all about this. Thanks for asking how I store, because You guys have, you tell me that you love my stuff and I inspire you, but you inspire me by asking me for these things. And then I see these things that I have done a long time ago and have forgotten about. But a lot of these little bits will show up on these pages. Even though they haven't been stitched, they look like they're stitched on. But all I did, that's why the fabric's in here. Duh. But this was going to be a book, and the pages are put together with fabric, and you can stitch through them as a signature, or you could, I don't know, because each page is done, you could, I don't remember how I was going to put together, but that's what this, a lot of this is. And then again, there's more of my images, my collage fodder. Like that one's really twisted up. So that's what this little box is. And it's probably all of this was gathered to do these, since the blank ones are in there and the fabric. This is another little, yeah, this is something else I did. These are painty papers and or um, printables, chunks of printables, chunks of magazines. I stitched these together on the water soluble paper, and then I washed off the paper. And this is what ends up. And I've cut some of this apart and used it in other things. So it was fun to do. Lots and lots of fun to do. I'm telling you, I'm so excited that I found these. I totally forgot all about it. So I don't know where the inspiration for this came from, but I'm really glad I found this. Really glad. And then this little box is more little bits. There is some, die cuts that are not things that I've made. I had boxes and boxes of this, and this is what I got left because I don't use it. So I've done things with it, but this is all little bits. And when I have long strips of little bits, that's usually the stuff that gets sewed because it's just kind of fun to, and I'll even use these, put that on there and like that or something. They're clusters, but yet they're not clusters. They're clusters to help fill up a page to do more things with. I don't know. Sometimes my terminology isn't the best, guys. I'm sorry. But they're just things that, like this is all on cardboard. I can't say I made this, but it looks like something I would do. My scribbles, the images I have. But, other people have images like mine. So that's it. I mean, that's my scraps. It's something that's important to me not to have a lot of. I just don't use them. I would take a piece of scrapbook paper, take some painting papers and tear it up and make my own scraps. And a lot of in my big box of painting papers, I actually have two. One is painting papers and one is, it says on the box, needs more. They are painting papers that I think need to be stenciled on or doodled on or something that there's just not enough stuff on them. And, but sometimes I pull them out when I just need a color. So I do keep them separate. And the way I separate some of my stuff makes it easier for me to find it. If I sorted it by color, I don't think I'd find it as fast or make the same style because I don't know what color I want to use. I have to start working on something and then grab what I think is going to go I never go looking for, I can't say never. I very seldom will go looking for something, say, I need some red right here. Because if I just need a little spot of red, I'm going to use a marker. So anyway, I think I'm getting hungry. It's lunch. Well, it's past lunchtime. It's almost 2 o'clock. But I appreciate everyone who's come on and played and watched. And I want to thank you all for being here. And thank you for helping me find things to do again. So basically, if you ask me how I sort by size or by project. It's kind of what it boils down to. Even my finished stuff, I sort that way. I have a zipper bag over here of all kinds of stuff. Well, I love the zipper bags. It makes for perfect projects, and I like to put my stuff in project bags. But I don't think I've showed these, so I'll pull a few of them out. Oh, these are not done. These are all, this whole package is watercolors that I have finished or need to be used, have something else done to them. Yeah, watercolors, I need to have something else done to them. So that's not the pouch I was thinking of. I wanted to show you my stitched stuff. Well, this still isn't the one I was going to show you, but this is what I say when I do the stitching and I have all the little bits. I just make bits and bits of stitching that go on to other things. And then some of them, they're strips. And I love to do strips and then fold them in half and make journal pages and make long, skinny journal pages. And in here is a couple. This is what I was looking for. I didn't know these were in the bottom. When I say I do the stitched on pages, this is just copy paper. I use a heavier copy paper, but I put all these pieces on and made a collage, and then I go and I poke holes and I stitch on it. I close it off with tape, and so it's different, but I really like it. And now when this one's on a watercolor postcard, this glue's coming up, but I just stitch. I do prefer to work on a heavier base when I do my stitching on it. But when I do it now, when I poke the holes, because somewhere there's a bag of these that are started and ready to be stitched on. That's the kind of thing I take in the car. I draw, okay, like these right here, these little X's. On the back here, I would put an X so that I'd know what those 4 holes were supposed to mean. Because sometimes I think of what I want to do before or as I'm punching the holes, and then I put it up and don't get to it. So that's always so I can do it. So here's sloppy French knots as the centers of some flowers, and then I outlined it. These are the things that I have no stinking idea what I'm going to do with. But someday my kids will have it to go through, and they'll probably throw it all in the trash. So anyway, I'm going to call it a day. Again, thank you so much for being here. I'm pretty sure that after I get something to eat, I'm going to be going through all my papers now and seeing what's where. And maybe because I have space, I've gotten rid of a lot of things. Well, that's kind of a lie. They've went into the garage sale, but the garage sale really sucked. So they're still in the garage for a garage sale. So they will be gone eventually. But I have space in my art room for the things that I want to do now. And that's what I'm doing, is the things I want to do because I can. With that said, keep my motto in mind, because I can. Everyone have a great day, and I will see you next Friday. Bye, all.